2 more people have been charged with inciting violence through social media. One was arrested in KwaZulu-Natal on Saturday and the other in Gauteng. The Gauteng woman allegedly operated a popular Twitter account called Spitipiti Evaluator. She's expected to appear in the Germiston Magistrates Court, while in KwaZulu-Natal, a 35-year-old suspect appeared in the Pietermaritzburg Magistrates Court. The Hawks believe his posts on social media and other platforms led to the attacks on the Brookside Mall. The matter was postponed to the 6th of September for a bail application. eNCA's Govan Whittles is following developments and joins us now from the Magistrates Court in Germiston. Govan, so you continue to wait. It's a matter of one of those hurry up and wait instances that court reporters have to contend with, especially in the magistrates' courts.
It certainly is, Thulasizwe, and it's been a long wait so far, but not unexpected. It is Monday, and what we're essentially waiting for is for the magistrate to finish with the first appearances of people who were locked up over the weekend and are now appearing at court. Usually those cases are postponed and the bail applications in those cases aren't very long. So they'd like to keep cases like this one, which has attracted a lot of attention, understandably, and might take a bit longer if the bail application goes ahead, they've allocated to the last slot of the day, essentially. So we might be going in within the next 30 minutes or so. That's the impression we're getting from the security here. But for now, there has been some movement, particularly in the courts in Pietermaritzburg, where we have learned that the person who appeared there appeared in camera, so with no journalists in the courtroom or members of the public. And that's because the Hawks would still like to take that suspect for an identity parade related to that attack on the Brooks Mall in KZN. And so that bail application will only go ahead in September, and between then and now there should be an identity parade. That gives us some indication of how the police are moving forward with this case. And when it comes to the appearance of at African Soil's Spitipiti Evaluator, we know that this person has been very loyal to the former president and has been on social media not only calling for his release from jail, but prior to that defending him, and more lately, Thulasizwe, showing some support for the suspended Secretary General of the ANC, Ace Magashule. We've heard that there may be some big money behind this account, and that this account may not necessarily have only been operated by one person, but the person who is appearing here is certainly a key influencer when it comes to the social media space and the defense of the former president and the so-called RET gang. So that's the state of play here, but from the Germiston Magistrates Court, it's still a matter of waiting for that appearance.
Yeah, and I suppose there are a number of reasons why the appearance of this person there at Germiston is so interesting, right, Govan? Given that this is a well-known Twitter account, Spitipiti Evaluator. And to be honest with you, Govan, I always expected that if you were to unmask the identity behind this account, I had expected that it would be a man. For some reason, I pictured Spitipiti Evaluator to be a man. It turns out that, at least as far as the information by the investigators, that woman is one of the people, as you say, that may have been behind that account. But it's not only about Spitipiti Evaluator, it's also because it is alleged that this person may have been one of the dirty dozen, the alleged instigators that we were told about in July, and then there was silence. We didn't see many of them being paraded and revealed and showed that these are the 12 or so instigators we were talking about.
It is certainly interesting, and what makes it more interesting is the two different groups of interested people that the police authorities may be interested in, and how there appears to be a mismatch between the narrative perpetuated by the governing party in terms of what caused this attempted insurrection and the people that have been brought to court. If you look at the people that have been in court so far, they've been appearing on charges of incitement to cause violence for their activities on social media, for forwarding voice notes, for posting tweets, for going live on Facebook and in defense of the former president. And in briefings by the government, we've heard these people described as key players by the then acting minister in the presidency, Kumbudzo Ntshabeni. Although there's a different story coming from the ANC. The ANC has pointed directly to a WhatsApp group which it says planned attacks on 12 regions in the country, and that those attacks on those regions eventually came to pass in the areas that they were planned in, and in the manner that the WhatsApp group had wanted them to be performed. So it looks like there's this dirty dozen of people on the WhatsApp group that were apparently instructing people to go and attack specific areas, and then in the courts we have people who are appearing for posting tweets and forwarding voice notes, and yet still being identified as the key players in planning this attempted insurrection. So at one point or another, Tula Sizwe, those two narratives need to merge, and we need to see the people being held accountable for actually planning to go and cause unrest. And so far it hasn't happened, but by all indications it does seem that the appearance of this at African soil could provide at least a foot in the door in that direction.
Yeah, and it will be key to watch what happens in the courts. I suppose that's where much of what we don't know at this stage will actually be revealed. That is eNCA's Govan Whittles. He's out at the Germiston Magistrates Court tracking that appearance, which is yet to happen, of the person who is believed to have been behind the Twitter account Spitty Pity Evaluator.